Namaste, good evening, everyone. With reference to Babaji, we are going to start where we left off yesterday. I've just highlighted some things that we had discussed yesterday, and I think it was very beautiful. Some things that were mentioned yesterday that were covering a lot of things that we take sort of lightly, but we are going to see how these things actually hammer to our conscious, and where we are going to feel that okay, there is something good here, to discuss about. So we discussed yesterday, humans are free to choose whether or not they want to become wise. So this is basically to a person who is delusional or who is still living in the delusional mindset. We know that there will always be some sort of burden or some sort of uh, a void within the person who is in delusion, because no matter how much they gather, no matter how much they hoard, no matter how much they beg for the respect, they will always feel this ignorance is giving them a sort of incapacity to give them the satisfaction that they need. And in the next line, we are seeing that it's highlighted: happiness or good is not going to happen in ignorance. So this is also, I think, a very important point. All and what when where will it happen the right way? The relationships, there are relationships all around us, yet due to delusion, we fail to recognize them. So this is again all the relationships that we have with humans and with also the three other orders. So it's very crucial that we recognize them. They are there. See how the sentence is written. The relationships are all around us. This means that they exist, whether we believe it or whether we find them true or not. And every action that we do with line or with or in line with orderliness will give that flavor or fragrance of the output. Whatever decisions or actions we take which are not in line with orderliness, which are with mindset of priya hit labh, then they will also create that kind of repercussions, and we are seeing that we are being faced with a lot of challenges in this world right now. So again, the relationships are all around us, yet due to delusion, we fail to recognize them. So this was, I think, very interesting yesterday that we talked about, and then we came to how the machines and artificial intelligence and all those things that we discussed. The things that are highlighted here is I assert that humans are not machines, rather they are creators of all machines, so even today we are seeing that how many people who are in the job, they are being created or treated like machines. In fact, there is a website which is called clockify.com. So every person is he can log in that website and put the number of hours that they've worked, and that actually measures the amount of hours you've worked. So it is like a, the digital version of the clocking card that you put when you it's in the or the time machine that you're clocking yourself in, and then when you go out, you're clocking yourself out, the kind of machines that are there now. That is a digital version of that now. So, yes, I assert that humans are not machine. Furthermore, all machines are made from insentient nature. So, this means that the sentient part, which is basically, I think, what Babaji is saying here is the mulyas which are there. Because in the lines below it is said, uh, when one experiences the bond with their child, they undoubtedly recognize that they are not merely mechanical entities. So, this sentence correlates with this line here. Furthermore, all machines are made from insentient nature. And this again is also true when we see how even the most poor of people have that same sort of experiences of bonding with their children as do with the rich people. So we cannot say that any quality of life can affect that. And machines or the insentientness of that machine will never be able to recognize these sort of relationships. So that was what we had discussed yesterday. So now, today I'm going to start reading new from where we had left off yesterday. I recognized humans with humane consciousness only. Humane consciousness is combined form of conscious and sensitivity. Conscience and sensitivity, that makes the humane consciousness. If I'm not sensitive, I become like a machine. So here, we can deduce that machines are not sensitive, first thing. And another thing, we can also say that if we become any insensitive, we are no different from machines. So again, we discussed yesterday about the Terminator movie, and I think that can be put here into reference how that vision of the director of that movie puts up the machine world in a sense of insensitive beings out there to kill all of humanity. So here also saying that the sensitivity is lacking in the machine. Rather, it has to be programmed, and some system has to be put into place to check whether that the machines do not go wild in their rampage of instructions given from above or programmed from above, and they just keep on executing those orders without any humanity or without any humaneness. So this again, first of all, cannot be programmed. But if you have some checks in the system, I mean, if these things are used in war, obviously these things can go completely in a different place, because every human is different, and if they are set to program, if they are set or programmed in such a way to kill particular human beings in the particular boundary, just the way we are having these boundaries, then it can be even innocent civilians. So very important issue is being talked here. And I think this kind of issues are also being discussed in higher official places, because artificial intelligence is such a growing phenomena. And it is said that if one country stops using artificial intelligence as a way of saving themselves and their country from the the problems of artificial intelligence, then the thing is that the other countries will move ahead and they use it and benefit from it, and actually so that uh, in itself has become a fear. So artificial intelligence is actually being driven by fear by all the countries, and most of the countries are racing towards finding the best artificial engines, best way of algorithming the artificial intelligence together, the most sort of minute ways of processing, so that they can come up with a result quickly, faster, with better precision. So all these things are being driven by all the countries. All the countries are having their own GDP increased for artificial intelligence, because they know if they don't do that, then other countries will come and take over that place and that part of their business and so forth. They are just doing it out of fear almost, you know. um, we humans have not yet found satisfaction in such mechanistic living. We have been unable to find satisfaction while working like machines. I challenge any guru who claims to have found such a path, even after listening to geneticists. Geneticists. So basically, people who are involved with genetics, right? So Babaji is saying that he has talked to geneticists and they still have no uh, path which is uh, like in line with orderliness, right? So yeah, I think I remain unconvinced. So he's saying that um, any working of the machines cannot be duplicated as a human being. So no matter how much a machine is perfected, it will always be lesser than the human being, because the human being is the creator of that machine. So I mean, we can just give a small example. The best of cameras, I think, out there are something like 200 megapixels, maybe more. Say, even if we achieve 1000 megapixels, I mean, that's very far off. But say we do that, and yet our eyes can actually see something like 64,000 megapixels. So that means that, in a nutshell, what that means is we can differentiate a pixel which is different from 64,000 dots on per inch. So, so megapixels, pixels means basically small dots per inch. So that means in 1 inch, if there is a color which is different, just one dot between that 1 inch of lines of colors, and yeah, our eyes will be able to pick it up, but the eyes of the camera, or eyes of the phones, or eye of the digital, any sort of digital camera will not be able to pick it up. So that's what it means. 64,000 megapixels is the capacity of the eye. So yes, that's where we are. And yes, anybody else wants to say something? um,
Nothing, Bhaiya, all good.
okay.
So the idea is that humans are not machines,
uh,
but if they are insensitive, they are just like machines.
right, right. So I think, even if we look at the idealistic state of the world, whoever has gained popularity, even in the idealism, is the person who has given reverence towards the mulyas, or the truth, and the love, and the empathy, and the gratitude. Um, those are the people who have been sort of worshipped as gurus, or have been given the place in the heart of the people, and this is because that they have come up, or come out of that situation where they are insensitive. Right now, if we look at it, a person who is very sensitive is actually labeled as somebody who is a very, how do we say it, that a person, if is sensitive, they're not be able to earn the right amount of money, or they will always be in depression, or this kind of things have been linked with a person who is sensitive. Yet here Babaji is clearly saying a person has to be sensitive. If they are not sensitive, they are literally mechanical, they are mechanistic, and that is not going to help anyone in this world. So I think we should be proud if we are sensitive, because here it is saying that that is a very good state of
Hmm.
being.
But sensitivity is not enough
Hmm.
because that it can be in the animals also.
Hmm.
But that is the starting point. The sensitivity
Yeah.
should be there. Then the
Hmm.
next sentence is written as conscience. So the
Hmm.
human consciousness is the combination of conscience as well
Hmm.
as the sensitivity.
Yeah.
So both, if we want to become a really a human being, then
Hmm.
we should have the human consciousness, which is a combination of conscience
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
sensitivity.
Hmm. Hmm.
सो द
बढ़िया.
बेसिक इज द सेंसिटिविटी देन
Hmm.
कॉन्साइंस, यानी
Hmm.
पहले आप कहें तो हिंदी में
हाँ.
संवेदनशीलता,
हाँ.
फिर संज्ञानशीलता, और इन दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन हुआ
हाँ.
संचेतना सहित, मानव संचेतना सहित.
Hmm. Right. बढ़िया. Good ध्यान आकर्षण, if I would say. Yes, बढ़िया. um, it's obviously that we are also being in this forum, and trying to see that we are also clearing a lot of doubts that we had, and a lot of new formations of structures are being made, if that is the right word, in our head, so that we can see some things clearly, so this is very important. uh, I remember that some people in the past also have been sensitive, and they also had their sensitivity in the form of humanity. But humanity itself, as he's saying here, Babaji is defining it completely differently. Humanity is not feeding the poor or something like that, but Now you have to look at it a hard and a deeper and a wiser side, like a zoom out point of view, that why do people have to even be fed who are poor? That is the point of sensitivity that we have to take it to. Because when we are brushing with reality, we always feel to fix it right now. How can we fix it right now? Can we fix it with money? Can we fix it with uh, doing some sort of charity? So that is the thing that we are always thinking on. But there is always a better and a deeper and a fundamentally different way of actually solving the problem, which is even more, how would you say, the more civilized way of solving the problem, and that should be taken uh, into consideration. But yeah, okay. So, would anybody else like to volunteer to read? Shreyanshi is there, but I don't know if she's free.
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, so shall I start?
Yes, Didi.
Before this, idealism presented God as the one responsible for deliverance. I have seen God. He does not have a factory for deliverance. In what form did I see God? I saw God as, can you please scroll? As omnipresence. Okay. I saw God as the absolute energy in which every unit is energized. I have seen that every unit in omnipresence is in coexistence. What more there is to be seen in God? If there is anything more, you are welcome to explore and reveal it to the world. You are free to explore. What I have seen and understood has already been presented before you.
Hmm. Let's just discuss this. Uh, I just highlighted it just because I thought that this is the part that needs to be discussed. Um, Before idealism presented God as one responsible for deliverance, that's one of the sutras in the Bibles, in fact, the deliverer. And this again, I was just listening to Mahendra Bia's talk today that what grave pain the Jesus Christ had to go through when he was crucified, and no other person like can take that kind of pain because of the pain that was endured in the crucifixion. That very act was the reason that the Christianity has actually dispersed in so many countries and so many places, because here is a person, he takes up so much pain, and because of that he is seen as the person who has taken the sins of all mankind. That's what it is basically rooting for, vouching for. And now, since nobody else can put themselves into that picture, it can be argued that only Jesus Christ was for the sake of argument, we can say he was delivered. Nobody else can be delivered like him, because he was also the son of God, but yet nobody else can go through what he had gone through, right? Technically, even it's very, very excruciating pain and all these kind of things. So here Babaji is making a lot of things very simple. Nobody has to be crucified, on the cross and stay there for the whole day and night until your body is died. So how does he say it? I saw God as omnipresence. I saw God as absolute energy in which every unit is energized. I have seen that every unit is omnipresence, is in coexistence. So here he's saying two things, that he claims, Babaji is claiming that he has seen God, and that he has seen that every unit is his absolute energy is in absolute energy, right? And is energized by that. So every unit means every atom, and every atom, accumulation of atom, every molecule, accumulation of many molecules, accumulation of matter, or accumulation of biological entity, be it the cells, be it the tissues, be it the muscles, be it the organ systems, and then complex organ systems with a brain like us, and then sorry, the animals, and then a very complex system with a brain like us, which is able to have also the imagination. So this all he saw, every unit is energized with this omnipresence. I have seen that every unit is in omnipresence, is in coexistence. So he has seen everything is energized by this, and he is seeing that everything, all these units are in coexistence. So uh, we cannot say that the space itself is energizing everything, but we should always keep in mind that what is coexistence? Coexistence is the units being inside the presence, the omnipresence of space. So everything is coexisting, nothing is just itself. Space is not by itself, space is coexisting with all the units. So this is also, I thought, was worth highlighting. What more is there to be seen in God? If there is anything more, you are welcome to explore and reveal it to the world. So here is like a taunt, and it's like is a rhetorical thing that he's saying, that if there is something you see which is deeper than this, you let the world know. No, you are free to explore. What I have seen and understood has already been presented before you. So he said that I have seen everything the way I've seen it, and I'm going to present it to you like this in the form of darshan, in the form of the books and the yes, Ganesh Bhaiya.
This is the most wonderful paragraph,
Mm,
and you have rightly highlighted it,
mm,
because in tradition, not only in Christianity, rather in Hindu dharma also,
right,
it
right.
is considered that the God is there for the deliverance. That is, ईश्वरी है जो हमें तारेंगे, वही
Mm,
सब कुछ करते हैं. This has been considered.
mm,
But here, what is written in Madhyas Darshan, that I saw God as the omnipresence, है ना?
mm,
ये
mm,
व्यापक के रूप में देखा इसको. And I saw God as the absolute energy in which every unit is energized, जिसमें हर चीज जो है वो energized है, हर इकाई energized है. So this is the
mm,
most wonderful thing. Now, to understand, now I am being energized, that both the material as well as the sentient part, you know, conscious part is also energized.
mm,
And now whatever is being done is being done by me. Now, being
right,
done by, in the material kingdom, it is done by the physico-chemical reactions,
right,
and in the sentient part, it is being done by the imaginativeness as well as the free will. So
right,
there I am doing.
right,
There the concept of drishta bhokta karta comes. The
right.
god is not in manyata or in tradition.
Mm,
It has been considered that God is doing everything. वही सब कर रहे हैं, वही हमें तारेंगे, है ना?
right.
बट यहाँ पे कितना मेजर शिफ्ट है. और it explains everything. It's not that कि this is correct or that was correct. I
Right.
always say, check yourself which
Right.
word is correct. If you consider the God is तारेंगे,
Mm,
then you see, is it happening in the word? क्या हो रहा है? Then the
mm,
answer will be no, it's not happening. Na?
mm,
But here, if I say it is giving me the energy, yes, it is giving me. And then the things are to be done by me. I have to be imaginative. Uh, I have to be the free will to do the righteous task.
mm, mm,
So that's, I find this paragraph very, very
mm.
wonderful.
Right, right. I mean, when you were saying this, I was just reminded of how everything is in coexistence with our sun, for example. And if you look at some of the videos on YouTube, and you just put sun compared to other celestial bodies, just Google that in YouTube, and you will see that our sun is a mid-sized star. Even in fact, this is on the smaller side, because basically, even though it's 1,000 times bigger than the Earth, I think it's approximately 1,000 times bigger. And yet, there are stars which are outstripping the lengths and the breadths of the sun by even hundreds of thousands of times. So now sometimes I wonder, okay, just similarly as we have just one socket of 240 volts coming to our house, that same voltage, 240 volts, right? But the same point can power dim light, night light, basically very small, consuming very less energy. We used to call it a zero bulb, because it consumes 0 watts. So a night light, that same socket can I mean, power something like a drill machine, something like a sound system, something like a laptop, everything. So based on the acceptance of the energy of the device, that same socket is able to deliver. Now, the beauty of this is that we can have it an example like omnipresence is that energy which is out there, like it's just there, right? But based on the chemistry or the not the chemistry, but I would say the word is the physical banawat or rachna of that design of that atom or the combination of the same, then takes that amount of energy and coexists with everything else. How beautiful is that, you know? And there is no drain of that energy. Just like there is a meter outside our house, which is calculating all this energy that is going into this house. But here, there is no meter. There are stars which are smaller than our sun. They are called dwarf stars. They are stars which are mid-sized of the like our Earth. It is sorry, our sun, and it is controlling planetary systems like our Earth. Then there are stars which are hundreds of thousands of times bigger, which are actually now manufacturing the ekais, because I heard that these stars are burning so many millions of years, and when the energy inside it, the hydrogen basically gets consumed and created into helium, and then come more and more more compression into iron and into everything, last it comes into iron. The whole star becomes iron, and the iron cannot be compressed anything more. So the gravity is trying to hold everything, but the iron is not able to fuse into anything else. So now the star explodes because the gravity is pushing it in, and the inside matter is not able to take it, and then it wants to get out. So there is a supernova, and that explosion now creates other rare minerals like gold and platinum and all those things. So all the stars maximum they can produce is iron. When it is being compressed, everything turns to iron, and when that rock solid iron is pushed by the gravity still, and the gravity is not able to hold that because it's iron and it cannot be changed into any other atomic structure, then it blasts. And at that point of blasting, there is some new atoms formed, which are these precious metals that we say like gold and platinum and all those things. So that's why they are red basically in the sky or in the space, because they are only available when there is a supernova explosion, which is actually at the last stage of the star when it is dying. So there are a lot of less abundance of them in the space even, and hence when it's the less abundance in the space, then the planets when they form also they have a lesser quantity of that also. So yeah, that was also another good documentary that I saw, and how everything is created, the atomic structures are created in this star systems basically. So yeah, maybe I can just share you the link of that. I found it very interesting of how the stars are creating uh, basically they're just changing the structure of the atoms from helium, sorry, from hydrogen to helium, and then from helium to 3 orbit, 4 orbit, 5 orbit, whatever you say, that the neutron, the proton and the neutrons and the electrons, how do they get arranged like that? So that was in that movie of how the stars are playing an important role in that, right? In fact, our sun is also doing the same. When it runs out of hydrogen and there'll be just helium left, then the helium will convert it into more stronger other atoms. And then when they are also converted into that, and the sun cannot hold, the gravity cannot hold that, then the sun will slowly become a red giant, because our sun is very small in comparison. So it will become a red giant, and then it will just take the orbits of all the planets and take off everything again inside it, and basically the whole galaxy system destroys. So this is, I mean, this is what the other galaxy systems are seen to be done. So this is the scientist the way putting it, that our system will also get dissolved like this. So I thought of just sharing. I hope I have not depressed some people, but it will take 5 billion years for this sun to run out of energy in that way. है ना? So we have a lot of time that way. Okay.
I think Shriyanshi is not there. Maybe she has left. So
हाँ
I can read Bhaiya.
हाँ okay ठीक है we can just from here we can just start.
Okay. uh, we have failed to achieve
Hmm.
completeness through either sensitivity
Or
Shivangi is writing something. No issue. I was talking about Shreyanshi, who was there. I think by mistake she has left. Okay.
Shreyansh is a
We
lip.
we have failed to achieve completeness through either sensitivity or machine-like efficiency. Sensory contact becomes the focus in the way of sensitivity. Sensory contact becomes the focus in the way of sensitivity. Thus, one discovers that their sensory capacity and expectations differ even from those of their own brother.
Mm,
This necessitates dividing humans based on their sensitivity.
mm,
Consequently, the path of sensitivity leads human towards individualism. Similarly, the pursuit of machine like efficiency propels humans towards individualism through consumerism, as we have already witnessed.
mm,
The third path bestowed upon us by our ancestors is devotionism and asceticism.
mm,
There is no end to individualism here either. Despite all the hard work, tireless efforts, and best intentions of humans, everything has ended up in failure due to individualism.
mm,
Individualism is anti coexistence and has become the basis for fragmentation of humankind.
mm. Badhiya. So, as the last sentence says, let's keep that in mind. Individualism is the anti-coexistence. So here we are talking about people or individuals having that understanding that we are all coexisting with all the three orders, and indeed, when we are in orderliness, also we will be in coexistence with the other fourth order, which is humans also. Based on the recognition of the relationships, we will be able to हम लोग उसका संबंध का निर्वाह भी करेंगे मूल्यों के साथ. सो दिस इज हाउ वी विल सॉरी
Ah, ya, what's it done among them? Oh, weirdo.
whose mic is on.
ये श्रेयांशी के माइक से शायद आ रहा है आवाज.
अच्छा ओके ओके you could not mute her, so yeah. So again, individualism again is just recapping. This is not coexistence. This is not aligning. It's not aligning with coexistence. But here, what is being said? The pursuit of machine-like efficiency propels humans towards individualism. So this again means that when we are like perfecting ourselves towards being individualistic, then through the consumerism, right, we have this place on this earth where we are divided. First as a family we are divided, and then I think it was in today's talk only in the morning, right, that we are divided as families, and then as families we require all the different items like a washing machine, like a house, a fridge, and all these things. Based on this consumerism, then everything in the economy also prospers. And now, when you have everything, the individual apartment, individual security guard, everything is individual, then your GDP also increases. So this is a very very uh, foul play where that the even the government is playing the role in it, because when we are also trying to exist, for example, if a particular number of people of us will coexist, will share the resources, then inevitably what will happen is that the people in power or the governments at playing who are still in the priya hit labha mindset, they will be suffering the economic consequences of those things. We can see that already with the solar energy. What is happening is that India is now wanting to dump the excess solar energy when it is making in during the daytime, because a lot of power is being generated during the daytime when it is something like say 11 a.m. to say 2 or 3 p.m. So that is the time when the sun is at its peak. So there is a lot of energy generated at this time, and they have to dump this energy at that time, literally. So they are looking for places to dump it through other countries. Now they have to have also the infrastructure for that. So my point is saying is that when we share the resources, when we contribute towards something, even like energy, then there is also a negative effect of that, and the government will surely put some sort of measures on this kind of things, because they are going to lose out. They are going to lose out on some sort of economic concessions that they have to make to us, because we want to contribute towards the coexistence, and so we are buying the solar panels, but then those solar panels are putting the energy in the system, and that system is not able to handle that energy. So again, they will now find ways of labeling that as peak power or something like that. They will not be charging, giving us the reverence for that. So this kind of things are also happening, and we are seeing that it's a headache for people who are generating also, and people who are also giving us the opportunity to generate it like that. So yeah, I mean, uh, let's just read this part here. The third path bestowed upon us by our ancestors is devotion and asceticism. There is no end to individualism here either. So as I discussed, when Jesus Christ was there, he was the only person who was the savior, and now that savior cannot be duplicated or replicated because of the inevitable individualism that he has come up with, because of his uh, like act or actions that he did. Because of what he did, we cannot repeat that. So now that is called an individualism. We are seeing that if he is not able to replicate it, then it is part of individualism. Similarly, in the Indian context also, there are a lot of people who have achieved some heights of um, clarity, but then they had also played a very uh, a role which was in the individualism sense, and that's why even if they didn't want that with their on their head, we have actually placed the crown on them and said that they were the others, sorry, the idealistic man or the idealistic woman, and they have to be praised, they have to be give reverence and all this kind of thing. So we are creating the hyper individualism for that. Like mysticism stays into that sect or into that fold, and that creates the cult type situation, which again it serves no one, but it creates something keeping on repeating itself through the generations. So despite all the hard work, tireless efforts, and best intentions of humans, everything has ended up in failure due to individualism. Individualism is anti-coexistence. बढ़िया. So I have everybody with us who are regular with us. I just want a confirmation. We can read ahead, or we can maybe stop at say 7:50 every day, so that we can have a small discussion and everybody can place 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can end that uh, this seminar like that. So maybe 7:48, so that everybody gets 2 minutes. One, two, three, four, five. We regularly have five people. So yeah, if we can stop at maybe 7:40 exactly, so that we can have 2 minutes from everybody. Is everybody okay with that? Because yesterday, Shivangi Didi, I think she shared a lot of good things. So I think that this is very participatory from everybody else is actually very beneficial.
That's good idea, Bhaiya, from my side. The last
Ah,
10 minutes can be put into discussion. So
right.
whatever we have studied on that day in a
Mm,
kind of summary, or
right.
if anything new has to be added,
Right.
or what how we have taken the whole discussion today. So in the last 10 minutes,
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not compulsory. You can just say pass. I would like to listen to the others, and we can just move ahead. I mean, it's not do or die situation, but I think it's a very. I mean, everybody gets a chance to share, and I liked the what was shared yesterday. So I'm basically taking this vote of confidence with everybody. If they have no objection, let's take that initiative. Mm, uh, Shalini is also listening. Who else can say yes so that I can have at least? I would like everybody to say yes.
Actually,
In fact,
Sudarshan Bhaiya, he
uh,
has said that he is sitting with someone else, like his son, or he's
okay,
busy in some work. That's why
okay,
he's unable to speak.
okay.
But Sudarshan can write in the chat box if he
Mm,
has any questions
right.
or if he want to say something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't have to be something that you have to share. You can just put up a question also, and we can discuss that. And that would be also nice. Uh, but yeah, Shivangi Didi, are we good with that? Maybe she's outside, as she mentioned. Okay. Okay. As I said, it's not compulsory. I mean, yeah, Shalini Didi, yes. Mm.
Yes. So, Nanak,
अब
actually,
दीदी
I
दीदी
wanted.
दीदी बुलाने की आदत हो गई है ना.
हाँ, यहाँ पर odd one out Shalini suddenly comes, so my mind is
मैं भी
there.
अक्सर संध्या दीदी बोल देता हूँ.
So, so basically, I was listening, and I thought I'll just draw the attention at for a
हाँ,
word.
हाँ,
So when Babaji says ना अस्तित्व में प्रकटन है ना, so
हम्म,
there is emergence or manifestation,
हम्म,
है ना. There is no creation as such, है ना.
हम्म,
तो जब हम explain कर रहे हैं तो मुझे लगता है थोड़ा सा हम ये ध्यान रख सकते हैं
हम्म,
कि let's not use the word how are the stars created, है ना, because
right,
the moment we are using the word creation, there is a creator.
right.
So
हाँ,
that's it
हाँ.
from my side. Yes.
Yeah, you're saying it very right. I mean,
Hmm.
I know it in my mind that star as basically stardust comes together with sort of like gravity, but basically that is also in line with orderliness. So gas clouds collapse into one particular point in which we call a star, but yeah, everything is just there. So सही बात है. कोई प्रगटन नहीं है as such, but it's just emergence as you said. But yeah.
Yeah. And interestingly, when the discussion was going on as you were speaking, I was thinking
Hmm.
because this whole emergence is for the human beings to prove the coexistence. So this just question arose in my mind.
Hmm.
So could it be possible that only when Gathan Purnata or Vikas happened,
Hmm.
only when Jeevan atom was formed, after that, uh, after that only the water was formed?
Hmm.
डिड यू गेट माई क्वेश्चन. मतलब गठन पूर्णता हुआ,
Hmm.
विकास हुआ
Hmm.
पदार्थावस्था में जब जीवन परमाणु बन गया,
Hmm.
क्योंकि तभी प्रयोजन सिद्ध होता है पानी के बनने का, क्योंकि
Hmm.
सहअस्तित्व को प्रमाणित करना है.
Hmm.
सो आई जस्ट गॉट दिस क्वेश्चन, लाइक कुड दिस बी पॉसिबल.
Yes, this seems to
So,
be possible.
so
This
that
seems to be
means it
possible.
it fixes the timeline of Jeevan atom
Hmm.
also.
Hmm.
Most probably. I'll ask this question to maybe Rakesh
because
Bhaiya or Sadan
because
Bhaiya.
when you say that, that means that a particular place where the evolution of the atoms are in a pace which is slower, maybe because the
Mm.
amounts of atoms have to come from afar, or maybe they have to form within that time frame. But say for example that there are gas clouds which are nearby, and so
Mm.
some millions of years were needed for earth, for waiting for the other gases to come in like oxygen and all those, so that the oxygen can combine now with hydrogen to make water. Some gas clouds might be nearby, and so it doesn't take millions of years, right? So when we talk of time, I think it's going to get very confusing. But as we our Babaji said once that everything, there is no such thing a time, but basically there is a kriya ki avardi, something like that, right?
Avadhi, Avadhi.
Avadhi, right?
So again, the question rises that is there any waiting time in nature? Is there any waiting at all?
Hmm. Because everything is happening in the moment right now.
Everything is happening, yes.
Yes.
So there's no waiting as such.
Right.
है ना? So
So,
this
so,
also, this is a like this is something to ponder about, ponder on.
uh,
Is there any kind of waiting in nature? Because जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना भगवान के घर में देर है अंधेर नहीं.
uh,
There is a
right,
conditioning.
I think when we mix with the other Shwad, we'll get very, very
No, no,
confused. I
I'm
think
not
we have to keep
mixing.
it
I'm just
outside.
saying that these are
Huh.
two thoughts, two different thoughts.
Hmm.
Here in Sahastikatvad, there is no waiting at all.
Hmm.
There is no sense of wait.
Hmm.
That's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. क्रिया जो है निरंतर है.
Hmm.
यहाँ पर जो प्रतिपादन है, क्रिया जो है निरंतर है, प्रयोजन के साथ, प्रयोजन सम्मत.
बढ़िया. Yeah.
That's it from
So, I
my
mean,
side.
we can use our imagination that a lot of Jeevan had to form, but then again, the formation of Jeevan is also after the human. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think what you're saying, no? Because
No, no,
Jeevan.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it is only once the Jeevan atoms were formed,
Hmm.
the water must have occurred. This is what I'm guessing. I'm just imagining
How
this.
come? How come you're saying just water? Is there any
Because
particular?
जो पानी है ना, देखो,
Hmm.
इस कैन आई स्पीक इन हिंदी?
हाँ
आई
हाँ
एम
बोलो.
सॉरी. तो
हाँ.
जो हाइड्रोजन है ना, दैट इज द स्मॉलेस्ट एटम.
Right.
और हाइड्रोजन के बाद धीरे धीरे क्रमशः पहले सबसे जो स्टेबल और छोटा एटम ही है वो
Hmm.
ऑक्सीजन है. ठीक है. तो जो अंश है, अंश में हाइड्रोजन का भ्रूण स्वरूप है.
Hmm.
अंश में ये निहित है कि उसको हाइड्रोजन बनना है.
Hmm.
सबसे छोटा एटम हो गया हाइड्रोजन.
Hmm.
हाइड्रोजन में ये निहित है आचरण कि वो ऑक्सीजन के साथ पानी बनाएगा. मगर
हाँ.
वो पानी क्यों बनाएगा?
The
पानी वो चीज है जिसके कारण से ये सबसे छोटा सा भी एटम है, अगर देखें सबसे छोटा सा अपने पास एक ऐसी वस्तु बनी जिससे
हाँ.
फिर है ना आगे अन्य चीजों से क्रिया करके फिर ये अम्ल क्षार प्रोटीन
Hmm.
बनाएगा. प्रोटीन
Hmm.
अपने आप में एक्चुअली क्या है? लॉन्ग चेन्स हैं. धीरे
Right.
धीरे करके जब कार्बन आया, कार्बन ने फिर
Hmm.
लॉन्ग चेन्स बनाई.
Hmm.
तो ये पुष्टि की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं.
Hmm.
अब देखो पुष्टि क्या चीज है, तो हमारा जो शरीर है ना, इसमें पुष्टि धर्म है. बच्चा
Hmm.
बिल्कुल छोटा सा होता है, एक कोशिका मल्टीप्लाई होकर इसमें मल्टीप्लाई होने का वो है,
Right.
मतलब लार्जर चेन्स बनाता है ये,
Hmm. Hmm.
है ना. लेकिन इसका भ्रूण स्वरूप पानी में है, मतलब दो तत्व जो है अपने आचरण
Hmm.
को त्याग करके नए आचरण को प्रस्तुत करते हैं. ऐसे ही
Hmm.
फिर धीरे धीरे है ना, ये कोशिकाएं भी हो जाती हैं, कोशिकाओं में से अंग बनते हैं. तो
Hmm.
कोशिकाएं अपने आचरण को त्याग करके अंग के आचरण को वो ले लेती हैं, अब्जॉर्ब कर लेती हैं, है ना,
Hmm.
मतलब उसको आत्मसात कर लेती हैं बाबा जी की
Hmm.
भाषा में.
Hmm.
इन इंग्लिश मेरे को थोड़ा सा तकलीफ रहता है, तो
नहीं नहीं ठीक है.
आत्मसात कर लेती हैं, है ना, उस अंग
Hmm.
के आचरण को.
Hmm.
तो दैट्स हाउ आई एम थिंकिंग. तो बेसिकली जो छोटा सा बच्चा रहता है, बिल्कुल है ना, एक कोशिका से देखो कितनी सारी कोशिकाएं, और फिर 6 फुट का आदमी खड़ा हो जाता है उसमें से. तो
Hmm.
दैट मीन्स वी आर गेनिंग,
Hmm.
लॉन्गर चेन्स आर बीइंग फॉर्म्ड, है ना. ये
Right.
प्रोटीन है, क्या है बेसिकली? लॉन्गर एंड लॉन्गर चेन्स ही तो है. इसी को तो
Hmm.
पुष्टि धर्म कह रहे हैं.
Hmm.
इकाई प्लस अनुकूल इकाई, है ना, मिल मिल के
Hmm.
पोषण होता जा रहा है, पोषण होता जा रहा है, बड़ी बड़ी बड़े मतलब एक स्ट्रक्चर्स बनने लग गए.
Hmm.
तो आई एम जस्ट गेसिंग, क्योंकि इसकी तरफ गति है,
Hmm.
तो फिर जरूर जीवन एटम आ गया होगा, है ना. अब ये सारी इमेजिनेशन, इसको कभी पूछना पड़ेगा मुझे किसी से. जैसे चांद पर हम पानी ढूंढ रहे हैं ना, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि शायद वहां पर अभी जीवन एटम्स भी नहीं होंगे.
I
हम
think.
हर जगह पानी ढूंढ रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि विकास की संभावना भी जीवन के आने के साथ होगी. ये सब मेरा इमेजिनेशन है, लेट मी
Hmm.
क्लियर इट ओवर एंड ओवर.
Hmm.
ऐसा होगा शायद, क्योंकि
There,
प्रयोजन सिद्ध नहीं होता ना अन्यथा पानी बनने का भी.
there was one documentary where I saw where there is emphasis on silicon life because silicon is very close to carbon. I think something like that, and then silicon life, like we can see also in crystal formations, the silicon is able to get it crystallized and make a lot of very beautiful crystals. So it just recognizes another silicon around it, and it combines with it and becomes a bigger crystal. So this is a very crucial question mark that do human beings now look like us? That is the question, because fundamentally what you are saying is that कि सब चीजें पानी से ही start होती, तो then they will look like us definitely. But what if the atomic structure of silicon और other अन्य ऐसे पदार्थ भी हो सकते हैं जिसके साथ ऐसे मल्टीप्लाई हो सकता है, कोशिकाएं भी बन सकती है उसकी चीज से. तो will the human being look different? Will the structure of the cell division and all that be different, and hence the human being will appear differently? So that is the question, I think.
या दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन. इसका एक बाबा जी का वीडियो है,
Hmm.
उसमें ऐसा प्रश्न इसी के क्लोज क्लोज टू दिस क्वेश्चन इसका आंसर हो रहा है. बाबा जी उसका आंसर कह रहे हैं नहीं ऐसा नहीं है.
Hmm.
देन ही सेड ठीक है ना, उसको देख लेंगे, है ना, ऐसा करके बेसिकली देखो हाइड्रोजन में ऑक्सीजन के साथ ही जुड़ने का गुण है।
हाँ
फिर जो पानी है वो पर्टिकुलर रिएक्शन ही करता है
हाँ।
ना, सबके साथ अलग चीज नहीं बनाता है, इन सब के आचरण निश्चित ही हैं। तो जितने केमिकल रिएक्शन है वो भी निश्चित है ना, ताप दाप भी निश्चित है,
राइट।
किस पर्टिकुलर टेम्परेचर पे, किस पर्टिकुलर प्रेशर पे, कौन से प्रभाव पर वो क्रिया करके आगे चीज बनाएगा, ये भी निश्चित है। तो जब सब कुछ निश्चित ही है तो फिर ये भी निश्चित है कि यही शरीर होगा। इसको मैंने काफी दिन सोचा है, और
नहीं,
मुझे ये बात स्वीकार हो गई कि ऐसा ही स्ट्रक्चर बन सकता है।
यू
देयर इज
आर
नो
राइट।
अदर।
यू आर राइट इन वन पॉइंट बिकॉज जितना हमारा शरीर जो है वो इज लाइक द लार्जेस्ट और द पिनिकल ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजिकल और लाइक cocktail of the right combination of things, right? Now if we dissect all the atomic structure that we are made with, the same amount and the same variations of the content that we are made it they are found in the space. That is what one documentary I saw was saying also, that the same amount of quantity of oxygen is there out there, same amount of hydrogen is out there, same amount of calcium is out there, same amount of iron is out there in space, basically. So we are the pinnacle of existence, I mean, a creation in existence, and the same in dust form is out there in space.
या
You know?
सेम
So,
अनुपात, या
huh,
सेम रेशियो, या
yeah.
दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एक्चुअली। इवन द
So this is
रेशियोज
the
आर
today's
इन,
scientists are confirming this actually. But yeah.
द
So ये हो
रेशियोज
सकता
आर इवन द सेम, सी एंड इट इज वेरी ब्यूटिफुल। जो
है।
रेशियो है ना अब समुद्र के पानी का, तो
हाँ।
पानी में जो फॉर्मेशन हुआ और पानी में जो अनुपात है सारे मिनरल्स का, तो
हम्म।
वो माँ के वूम के पानी से 99.99% मैच करता है।
हम्म।
दैट मीन्स जीवन, मतलब शरीर चलाएगा, ये सब चीजों के अनुपात में ही सारी चीजें घट रही हैं।
हाँ।
सो दिस व्हेन आई लाइक आई डोंट नो हाउ आई केम अप टू दिस थिंग, बट ये गूगल में ही मैंने पढ़ा,
हाँ।
एंड आई वाज काइंड ऑफ शॉक्ड कि यार ये कैसे हो गया। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात लगती है मुझे,
हम्म।
है ना, कि हम
हम्म।
बिल्कुल समुद्र समुद्र का पानी की खराश और हमारे जो ये वूम में जो पानी है सेम टू सेम कैसे हो सकता है।
हम्म।
मतलब कैसे हो सकता है, क्या है ही, है ना, तो इसका मतलब ये
हम्म।
प्रयोजन सम्मत है बात। तो
हम्म।
अब मुझे ये भी मैं सोच पाती हूँ कि शायद जीवन है, फिर उसके बाद ही ये चालू होगा। तो अब ये भी सोचने में आता है, ये मैं कल्पना को विस्तार कर, कल्पनाशीलता को विस्तार दे रही हूँ।
हम्म।
तो अब ये सोच सकते हैं कि जो विकिरणीय प्रभाव से जीवन गठन हुआ, क्योंकि जब हम गठन पूर्ण परमाणु हुआ तो उसमें एक विकिरणीय प्रभाव का एक संयोग है ना, तो वही विकिरणीय प्रभाव क्रमशः फिर पानी को भी बनाए होंगे।
हम्म।
ऐसा भी सोच ही सकते हैं,
I
एक
think
अनुमान बैठता है मेरा।
there was once a discussion of how Earth was. Obviously, when we are talking about complex proteins and
हम्म,
complex like formations of this living entities,
हम्म,
they are actually sort of thought of to come through comets or through meteors from other planetary systems or other places, and they have like literally landed on Earth, and created the abundance of life that we are seeing right now. Because
या
first of all, the like just like the egg in the womb, right? It has to be ready for that, and then once it is ready, it gets fertilized with that male, right? One male chromosomes, it gets fertilized with the egg. So similarly, when the earth was ready, these complex sort of literally almost in DNA forms, complex molecules came and landed on this earth, and then they took over and they flourished. So that is also one theory that earth did not it did not occur on earth, but it came from outside
या
space. प्रयोजन
बाबा
की चीज है।
डिनाइज इट, बाय द वे।
अच्छा।
बाबा जी सेज कि जो भी उल्का पिंड धरती पर आते हैं, क्योंकि मतलब
हम्म।
अस्तित्व में उनकी यहाँ पर भागीदारी सुनिश्चित करने के हिसाब से ही आते हैं, एंड दे
हम्म।
विल नेवर डैमेज द अर्थ, दिस इज
हाँ हाँ,
अनदर,
नहीं
है
वो
ना।
तो है, डैमेज तो नहीं हुआ।
हाँ नहीं
हम्म।
नहीं, मतलब ये जो आ रहे हैं ना, मतलब तो
हम्म।
आ के बाहर से चीजें आ करके इस धरती के क्षेत्र को समृद्ध किया, फिर प्रगटन वाली बात जो है वो हो जाएगी।
अच्छा।
हाँ,
राइट।
तो खुद ही सोच के देखो, अगर हम ये बोलते हैं कि सब कुछ बाहर से आ गया, है
हाँ।
ना, और आने के बाद ये इवॉल्व हुआ है, बाबा जी यहाँ पर कह रहे हैं धरती अपने आप ही इवॉल्व हो रही है,
बट
धरती पर ही इवोल्यूशन हुआ है, सारे जो
even
ये
even the
मिल
even
करके।
the gases like hydrogen and all this, they came from from within Earth. Like it was just a solid Earth, right? There was nothing around it.
देखो
And
जैसे
then
अभी
comets.
सबसे, हाँ सबसे ज्यादा अभी देखेंगे ना तो हाइड्रोजन जल जल के हीलियम बन रहा है।
Hmm.
सबसे ज्यादा आवेशित गति में जैसे अपना सूरज है ना।
Hmm.
तो
Hmm.
हीलियम, हाइड्रोजन जल रहा है ना। और
Hmm.
उसके बाद वो ना जो क्या बोलते हैं न्यूक्लियर फ्यूजन है ना,
हाँ.
हो के तो अपने से हमेशा भारी परमाणु की तरफ ही जाता है। तो
Hmm.
किसी भी भारी न्यूक्लियस की तरफ जो गति है ना उसी को हम स्थिरता कह रहे हैं।
Hmm.
जितना जितना भारी न्यूक्लियस की तरफ गति होती चली जाती है उसी को हम कह रहे हैं ये एक ठंडा होने का क्रम या स्थिर होने का क्रम
Hmm.
या विकास क्रम, ऐसा ही उसको भाषा हम दे रहे हैं, है
Hmm.
ना। तो हम ये सब धरती के लिए भी सोच ही सकते हैं कि स्थिरता आई है, एक एक करके बने। ये कल्पना से थोड़ा बाहर ऐसा लगता है,
Hmm.
मगर इसको थोड़ा, मुझे लगता है थोड़ा समय, मैंने मुझे लगा समय थोड़ा पचाने में इसको।
Hmm.
पर अब मुझे ऐसा पचता है, ये बात जो लगती है ठीक लगती है ना।
Hmm.
बाहर से बहुत सारी भाग, एक बारी क्लास में पापा ने बोला था कि जो बहुत सारा स्टार डस्ट जिसको हम मानते हैं ना धरती पे गिरता है, वो
Hmm.
एक्चुअली धरती के ही बहुत सारे सूक्ष्म कण होते हैं। ये समाधानात्मक भौतिकवाद में बाबा जी ने लिखा भी है। तो बहुत
Hmm.
सारे जो ऐसे कण है ना वो ऊपर जाकर संघनित हो जाते हैं, अभी
Hmm.
कंडेंस हो जाते हैं, है ना, मतलब
Hmm.
है ना, ऐसे पिंड जैसे बन जाते हैं। और वो
Hmm.
पिंड वापस धरती पर गिर जाते हैं। तो अस्तित्व में ना ठोस ठोस की तरफ गति है,
Hmm.
लिक्विड लिक्विड की तरफ गति है, गैस गैस की तरफ गति है। इस ये
Hmm.
गति की दिशा भी निश्चित है।
Hmm.
पानी पानी, बाबा जी इसको ऐसे बोलते हैं, पानी पानी को पहचानता
Hmm.
है ना। पानी पानी को पहचानता है तो इसलिए एक उसमें आवर्तनशीलता है। तो ये सारी आवर्तनशीलता ठोस ठोस को, द्रव द्रव, लिक्विड लिक्विड को और गैस गैस को पहचानने के कारण है। तो
Hmm.
ऐसा सूत्र दिए हैं बाबा जी।
Right.
ये इंटरेस्टिंग है अपने आप में,
हाँ.
है ना। और ये भी देखो, पानी जो है अपने आप में भागीदारी कोई पहचानता है तो पानी तल की तरफ भी बहता है और पानी ऊपर भी उठता है।
हाँ, ये तो व्यवस्था में तो मैंने बहुत गजब इसका प्रयोजन है, ये बात तो है।
हम्म।
बट ये पॉइंट के जैसे कि पृथ्वी को मैं जस्ट इमेजिन कर रहा हूँ, पृथ्वी में कुछ भी एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं था तब।
हम्म।
वेयर डिड द हाइड्रोजन, वेयर डिड द ऑक्सीजन, वेयर डिड द हीलियम, ऑल दिस कम्स। बट द साइंस इज सेइंग दैट दे आर गैस, सॉरी, कॉमेट्स विच केम and they landed on earth and they created the
हाँ,
gas.
आई नो, आई
Now,
हैव आल्सो।
so now the question is कि पृथ्वी में से ही
धीरे धीरे
वो-
ये भारी नाभिक होते होते ये ऐसे बने हैं सारे के सारे परमाणु। उसमें कुछ परमाणु जो है
हम्म,
किसी एक स्थिति में मध्यस्थ हो गए, मतलब जीवन हो गए, जीवन परमाणु का प्रकटन हुआ, ऐसा।
हम्म, okay.
इतना है। ये मैं आज प्रश्न जो है किसी को, दो एक दो लोगों को भेज के पूछती हूँ कि क्या ये संभावना है, ये ठीक दौड़ रही कल्पनाशीलता है कि नहीं।
हाँ. हाँ, अमुक एटम्स को तो वो प्रयोजन उसका है ही, टू मेक कॉम्प्लेक्स, जैसे चेंज किया ना आपने, वो कॉम्प्लेक्स चेंज बनाता है। और वही अमुक को ही दिया गया है, ये है ताज, और वॉट एवर वी कैन से दैट नॉट नॉट
या
ऑल
नहीं,
एलिमेंट्स।
है ना, आज आज का मुझे लगता है दिस
होता
कुड
है,
बी। हाँ।
होता है।
या
सो
या
व्यवस्था के अर्थ में अमुक ही एलिमेंट्स को ऐसे कॉम्बिनेशन होने का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है ना। नॉट ऑल एलिमेंट्स आर एबल टू कंबाइन सो विविडली बेसिकली, सो सम ऑफ देम। हाँ.
ऑल ऑल एटम्स आर देयर फॉर अ पर्पस, है ना, और एक
हाँ.
निश्चित अनुपात में, और हर एक चीज भागीदारी में ही है।
हाँ. हाँ.
तो नोबडी इज, अगेन जब हम ताज शब्द बोलते हैं ना जनक, देखो उसको थोड़ा सा सोच के देखो। ये है
हम्म,
ना सत्तात्मक विचार है, राज सत्ता, है ना। उस ताज शब्द कहाँ से आया
no,
हमारे दिमाग
I
में?
get you, but since
आया
it
गया।
has, it's readily like forming bonds. Let's
आई
put it
गेट
that way.
दैट, आई गेट दैट, आई
Readily
गेट
forming
दैट।
COVID, what is it? Covalent bonds.
या सो इट्स लाइक इट, बाई उनका जो होना है ना,
हाँ.
उस होने में ही रहने का स्वरूप है ना। उनका होना और उनका रहना एक साथ है। सो
हम्म,
द वे दे आर, उनका वही भागीदारी। जैसे कार्बन है ना, उसके चार हाथ है ना, कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड्स बनाता है। तो
हाँ.
वो चार हाथ के साथ वो अपने नृत्य में है। नाइट्रोजन तीन हाथ के साथ अपने नृत्य में है।
Right.
तो सब अपने नृत्य में, उनका होने और रहने का स्वरूप बिल्कुल एकदम एज इट इज है। सो
हम्म.
नो बडी इज लाइक, यहाँ पे है ना, हम वो ताज वाला शब्द को, मतलब एक बहुत
So
सूक्ष्म
for
ध्यान
discussion.
करते हैं ना इसमें,
हाँ.
दिस नो पॉइंट ऑफ लाइक कटिंग यू,
हाँ.
बट इसको हम इसको देखें, हाँ, ये भाषा में हमारे कितना गहरा बैठा है
हाँ.
ना।
बढ़िया.
हम्म,
हम्म,
बढ़िया, दैट्स इट फ्रॉम माय साइड।
हाँ. सही है, तो वी आर ऑल्सो ऑन lack of time now. We will try to have Shall we have any sharing? At least let's take 2 minutes more. Anybody else wants to share?
नहीं, ये दीदी ने अच्छा प्रश्न उठाया है कि
Hmm.
अगर हम देखते हैं ना कि कैसे क्रमिक विकास हुआ, तो हमें ये तो पता लग पढ़ ही पाए हैं या समझ पाए हैं कि पहले तो पानी आया और बिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स तक पानी, उसके बाद पौधे और उसके बाद जीव,
Hmm. Hmm.
और जीव आए। तो जहाँ तक गठनपूर्व परमाणु की बात है, वो पहले से थे या उससे जस्ट पहले बने, ये अपने आप में एक क्वेश्चन है।
Hmm.
तो बट ठीक है, दीदी ने कहा है कि ये इट विल बी आस्क्ड टू सम अदर्स, अगर
Hmm.
वो इसका आंसर देते हैं ठीक है, अदरवाइज नहीं तो इतना तो समझ में आता ही है कि अगर हम इस कॉन्सेप्ट को लेके चल रहे हैं, तो
Hmm.
जब जीव आए तो उस समय ये अवेलेबल थे, ये इतना तो बहुत क्लियर है। और
हाँ,
कितना पहले से थे, ये अपने आप में एक प्रश्न है।
हाँ, बढ़िया।
ठीक है, अच्छा आइडिया, इस पे फर्दर हम डेलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं आने
हाँ,
वाली क्लासेस में, या औरों से पूछ के।
राइट, राइट, बढ़िया। So, if anybody else wants to say something, we have 1 more minute. Chalo, बढ़िया. So, good discussion today, and we will see each other tomorrow again. Hope you have a good night. Thank you very much.